I want to encourage young professionals that you don't have to quit your 9 to 5 to invest in real estate. What you should be doing is leveraging your 9 to 5 to invest in real estate. You don't have to quit because I see a lot of people out here, I see a lot of influencers and whatnot, and they're doing real estate full time, and that's great. Love that.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bursey. And today, we're thrilled to welcome a respected authority in the real estate investment strategy space, Creshana Russell of C. Barrett Properties, LLC. Creshana is known for her disciplined strategies in property acquisition, asset management, and long-term portfolio scaling, helping investors maximize their growth. Welcome to the show, Creshana.
Thank you, Scott. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely is our pleasure. Creshana, before we dive into the market dynamics, please give us a little bit of a background on your story. How did you get into real estate?
I'm going to start from the beginning, right? I came from immigrant parents. I came from immigrant family. They worked really hard to give me opportunities that they did not have. Taking it back, I majored in accounting in college, right? And upon graduation, I was one of those students who were lucky enough to have an offer already in hand. So I remember taking home my offer letter, and Scott, it was about $45,000 at the time. That was my offer letter out of college. I brought it home. I was so excited. My mom was so proud. And that moment hit me because here I was, 20 years old with an offer letter in hand, and that was more money than my mom was making at the time. So in her sense of, even though she was so excited for me, I felt a sense of weight at the time because I felt it was almost like a transitioning moment where I'm like, you're no longer a kid anymore. You're going to have to go out there and find your path. And for me, that's what led me to start looking into real estate. A few months later, I bought my first property. I lived there for a year fixing it up. It was terrible. It was horrible. It needed a lot of work, but I lived there and I got help fixing it up. I fixed it up and my job started getting really demanding at the time. And I was doing a lot of travels for work. So I was never there anymore. I was always on the road traveling for work. I ended up having a conversation with my parents and decided that I was going to move home. So when I moved home, this is when things shifted for me because now I became a landlord. I rented out the place and I became a landlord. I now had funds that I could save and also help my mom. So that transition right there showed me the power of real estate. I now had the be able to save money as well as help my mom financially. And that changed the game for me completely. I saw that as a win-win situation. And it was determined that that was going to be my path from there on. And a couple years later, I bought a second one. I bought a duplex. And that was where things really like this real estate was no longer a thing I was just doing on the side. It became like you're an investor now. So that's how I got started. Short
That's
version.
awesome. And thank you for that version. The feeling that you had to feel when you were able to help your mother. And that's because you
Absolutely.
applied yourself through academics. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kashana. You know, what caught my
Yeah.
attention about you was the way that you've been able to bring a high level corporate grade structure, so to speak, to residential property management while still keeping that boutique, personalized touch that C. Barrett Properties is known for. What's the biggest key to maintaining that standard as you've grown?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
As I'm growing my portfolio, I focus on what I know that works for me, my sweet spot. I focus primarily on my 2 to 3 family houses. In Connecticut, we have a lot of like smaller multifamilies. So we're talking about 2 to 3 family houses. And for me, that's my sweet spot because they are in such high demand and they the turnovers are significantly less compared to larger units. I have a few of those in my portfolio, and I feel like from what I've seen over the years, those are the ones that perform the best. So that's my sweet spot. And that's how I've built my company, like where, I'm known for having those smaller multifamily units. And I've had tenants, Scott, for 10 plus years. Like they stay, like longevity. And I love that. I am so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for them.
Absolutely. That personal touch, that makes total sense. And it sounds like you built a culture where the standards actually run themselves. Krishana, beyond capital, what is the most important non-negotiable metric you advise your clients to track for long-term portfolio health?
For long-term portfolio health, for me, it goes back to 3 things. There's system, discipline, and relationship, right?
Yes.
I have system in place to help me manage my portfolio. We're talking about systems needed for credit checks, tenant screening, leases, just managing tenants, just, the whole screening process, the listing process, getting a unit rented out. Discipline. I am scouring the market every single day. I'm looking at what's coming on. I get up each day, I have my to-do list. I make my to-do list and I'm checking things off, prioritizing. And relationships. I mean, we know relationship is a big deal in real estate. To be successful in real estate, relationships are key. So I have great relationships with contractors, realtors who are sending me deals, to take a look at all the time. Uh, Not to mention my own personal relationships, right? So I have my support system around me, my husband, my dad, my parents in general, who helps me out with my children and the household things. My dad, who is like my right hand man, who helps me out with my projects that are going on. In fact, he spends more time at my projects than I do. He spends more time checking in with my contractors and just kind of making sure that things are moving along because I have a 9 to 5. I'm still working, so I don't have as much time to stop in during the daytime. And he's able to step in and do all of that for me, as well as my husband. So I leverage relationships a lot. Like it takes a village.
And because you have that network, that core, your family. You've been able to keep your tenants for 10 plus years. That's a true testament to
Absolutely.
what you have
Absolutely.
built and what you're going to continue to build. I just know it. That's a powerful distinction. How are you actually finding those opportunities when the rest of the market may be looking the other way, for instance?
When the rest of the market is looking the other way, I'm a numbers girl, right? I remember I told you I majored in accounting. So if the numbers make sense to me, Scott, I'm gonna move forward, right?
Sure.
Um, I pencil out the deal, I do my analysis, and I nowadays I try not to get stuck in analysis paralysis, right? If the numbers make sense on paper, I'm looking at a deal, I'm doing my breakdown, purchase price, what are the rent values, how much work am I going to need to put into the deal, all that thing. So I put it all on paper, and if it makes sense and I have the money to move forward, I am going to definitely just go at it. And
Absolutely.
I have a certain market that I love, like certain areas that are prime markets for me. And if it's if an opportunity comes in one of those areas, I'm going to figure out how to make it work.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
You're maximizing your skill set, it sounds like to me. Krishana, interested to know,
Absolutely.
how are you advising, people in your network on how to take care of things when you're working your 9 to 5? What kind of contact do you have with them on a regular basis? If you give us just a little bit of your insight on how you're able to to lead your core group.
I am checking in daily with my prime contractor. And I have, like now, I
Daily.
have projects going on. I am checking in daily. Yes, I do have to be at my 9 to 5, but any chance I get, I'm still responding to texts. I still have to like address, and they know that I'm working. So I touch base every evening after I get home from work. And we have almost like a strategy call, right? We have our plan of what we're attacking this week. We're doing floors this week. We're doing painting, whatever the case is. And I check in, how's that going? They send me pictures, they send me updates. Also, remember I told you my dad, he is known for stopping by at all my projects, and he'll call me and let me know how things are going as well. And that's again goes back to relationships, right? So one of my contractors that I'm working with, we've worked together for many years now. So he knows my style, I know his style, and we check in. And from there, we are able to just keep a wrap of what's happening, what needs to get done, and how we plan to keep moving things forward. Plus my weekends, I am like the Saturdays, I'm taking care of all of that. I'm on site and making sure things are good, materials. I'm going to the various stores to get materials and picking out finishes. Like it's a lot, but I'm a weekend warrior.
Not only are you a weekend warrior, but you keep tabs of things very closely on a daily basis.
I
And
do.
that is not easy to do when you have a 9 to 5. But staying on top of things is what ultimately is getting you is where you're achieving your success and you're capitalizing on that sweet spot, that core. I gotta ask you, this has been on my mind. What major market risk or threats are you perhaps watching in your particular market now in Connecticut?
In Connecticut, inventory is still a struggle. So inventory is still very low here. The deals are still pretty competitive. We're seeing, housing prices they're still pretty high here. So they're not dropping significantly in Connecticut at all. In fact, some areas they're actually increasing. And of course, there's the variability with interest rates these days. Like interest rates are all over the place. So interest rates aside, I mean, for me, interest rate is not a deterrent because we all know real estate is a long game and it will all balance out eventually. But for right now, what we're seeing is the low inventory. That's still a struggle. So it's still pretty tough to find the right deals here. But you gotta have those eyes and ears on the market. You gotta you gotta have those strong relationships, you know?
Absolutely. You're applying the daily, and that's going to provide vision for your long-term strategy, which is
Yeah.
solid, solid. And I got to ask you this as well. If you could walk us through, Krishana, what is your most valuable non-deal related metric for determining the health of your enterprise?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So aside from the numbers, right? Because I'm a numbers girl, aside from the numbers, I really look at communities. You know, I know my sweet spot. And there are certain areas that I focus on. And I mentioned earlier that my sweet spot is the 2 to 3 family units. So 2 to 3 family units in really good areas. That's my sweet spot. They're definitely more harder to come by because of the lower inventory. Sometimes you unfortunately have to wait till somebody passed away to get one of these units, but it's worth it. You know, like once I get in, what keeps my business going is whenever we get a new place, I go in and I set it up. I set it right. So, and what I mean by that is we're going in and we're doing the work. We're getting new appliances. We're making sure the kitchens, the bathrooms, those are all done properly. The plumbing, the furnaces, the electrical. We're making sure that everything is good going in started. We're setting it right first from the get-go. And in turn, I've seen where that really it saves me so much money long term, like having to go if you're going ahead and you're just trying to just quickly fix something up really quickly and get it all rented out, chances are if you're cutting corners, you're gonna face issues down the road. So we don't cut corners. Once we go in, we're making sure the units are good and we're putting in things that are durable. Like I personally put in granite or quartz countertop in my unit whenever I'm doing a kitchen because I don't plan to go back in there ever and go change countertops. So
Makes
we're
sense.
using, yeah, we're putting the place that we're making sure that we're using quality materials and doing quality work. We're setting it up right, and then we just set it and forget it, right? Well, not forget it, but
Absolutely.
you know what I mean.
Sure. And let me ask you this. Is there one takeaway that you like the listeners to know about your enterprise?
Yes. So I really talk a lot about encouraging young professionals to just get out there and figure out a way to make money outside of their outside of their 9 to 5, right? And for me, that's real estate. So I really focus heavily on encouraging. I just recently started sharing my journey on social media, and I want to encourage young professionals that you don't have to quit your 9 to 5 to invest in real estate. What you should be doing is leveraging your 9 to 5 to invest in real estate. You don't have to quit because I see a lot of people out here, you know, I see a lot of influencers and whatnot, and they're doing real estate full time, and that's great. Love that. But there's a lot of us out there who are still working our 9 to 5. And for me, I particularly speak to the ones who are just starting out and they don't know, they need a little bit of direction of how to get started. So I personally leveraged my retirement account to get started. I mentioned that. And from there, I'm recycling funds to keep my business going and to grow, right? So that from a personal aspect, that's one of the things that I want people to know about my brand and my social media presence is really to encourage folks that you can do this without quitting. And in fact, if you're young and you have any interest, you should try to do this as soon as possible because time is your best friend when it comes to real estate. And
Absolutely.
from like the business perspective with my company, again, like I said, Scott, we go in and we make sure that things are done properly from the get-go. I love when my tenants are with me for years because it shows that we're doing something right. Like I have tenants, like I said, who's been with us for over 10 years and they're almost like family now. So I take care of I love my tenants. I definitely appreciate them and I take care of their places and take care of their needs. And I it's it's a family business, right? It's like I'm creating a community here.
Absolutely. And it has proven to be a winning formula. That is outstanding. Krishana, that was incredible. And thank you for bringing that to our audience. Before we wrap up, for our listeners who want to follow your work or connect with you directly or learn more about your real estate offerings, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yes. So you can find me on your various social media platforms. Instagram, you can search Creshana Invest in RE, or you can really just search Creshana Russell and I will pop up. Um, TikTok and Facebook as well. So I recently started posting my journey there. I'm hoping to build more of an audience, like I'm saying, to encourage folks to get started, or if they have any questions or don't know where to get started, I'm hoping to provide some directions, some educational materials where can help you get going on your journey if that's something that folks are interested in. So that's where you can find me, Scott. And I have contact information in my bio there as well. So if folks wanted to reach out, send an email, that kind of thing. So you can find me there.
The big takeaway from our conversation today is take care of your tenants and don't cut corners. And those
Don't cut corners.
are very impactful words. And that is the way to run a successful enterprise. Krishana, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Scott, for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm very glad to have been on here and sharing my story.
It's been a wonderful, sincere pleasure on our part. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. If you found value in today's episode, please make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, keep your standards high and your vision clear. We'll see you in the next episode, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.